Hey guys, episode 57, Monday, March 18th. And I really want to spend this episode dissecting what happened on, I think, Friday with this bad trade by this hedge fund, as reported by Andrew Kang, and this bad trade in MSTR, and how I think it is starting to play into the entire market. All right, so let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this MicroStrategy share price. Okay, so if you look at MicroStrategy, basically, obviously you know the stock. It owns at this point about 200,000 Bitcoin, and it basically started the year at 685. And you know the bull market really in Bitcoin didn't start until February, right? So we had this sell the news move in early January, and in January at the ETF launch, and then in February basically it became very clear that these ETFs were going to have really big demand and Bitcoin was going up, and MSTR tripled in that period. So it went from 508 to actually 1800 on Friday. And a lot of people were in this trade betting that it was in fact going to fall relative to Bitcoin. Now, I'd seen this thing. I was sort of thinking, I bet you people are going to bet on that. But I didn't believe that $1 billion could have been bet on this. And so Andrew Kang, who is an incredible Twitter account, you should absolutely follow it. He's really been predicting this meme coin movement just with, alarming precision. And he basically notes that a fund blew out of $1 billion on each side of the MSTR BTC spread. Okay, so this is kind of a spread trade, and it's all based on the following argument, right? And so they blew out of this trade on Friday, and they had to basically sell half the trade and buy the other half. So they sold $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, and they bought $1 billion worth of MSTR, right? So that's what happened on Friday. This, of course, triggered liquidations in levered longs on the degen side, and just set the whole market into a tailspin. So what were these people thinking? Well, what they were thinking is this, okay? They were thinking, okay, MSTR, even today, is currently priced at 1,600, right? That has a market cap of $27 billion. You can look it up on Yahoo Finance. MSTR has about 200,000 Bitcoin. So at $67,000 per Bitcoin, that's worth $13.4 billion. So they also have a debt, and they have a software business, but both of those are sort of relatively small, and they kind of offset each other. Relatively small relative to these numbers. So we can ignore both of those, but let's just ratio the amount of market cap to their Bitcoin holdings, and it's 2. So the premium is somewhere. The premium to just the Bitcoin owned is something like 200%. So it's high, right? Now you could argue that maybe the software business is worth more. There's a lot of things you could argue, but it's undeniable that at this point it has high premium. So people have been trying to arb this, and basically been putting shorts on MSTR and longs on Bitcoin, and they are getting wrecked. Okay, and so this is very, very similar to what happened in GameStop in 2021. People were sitting there going, oh, this thing is completely overvalued. It's a bad little retailer of video games. It's going to get killed. And look what happened. It went from 4 to 81, right? And you just have to cover your short at some point, right? And then people covered, and then it came back. It eventually went back down, but look, it actually is significantly higher even today, even 3 years later, than it was at 4. Okay, so the lesson here is these big arb trades can be really, really dangerous. Just as a little aside, I know a lot of the principles involved in long-term capital management, and a lot of these trades worked great until they didn't work, right? So, in 1998, I believe it was, is when LCCM blew up, or 97. It was doing great for years and years, and these kind of trades were working until they didn't. And so, this is sort of the typical kind of arb trade scenario, and this is really the danger zone, and it gets really dangerous in a bull market, in a bull market in this case, because you're betting against the bull market. So, I did not get, I was not caught in this trade at all. I actually kind of was long MSTR before. I got out. I bought calls on BITO, and I got back in at kind of MSTR 1000. So between the GameStop kind of let's bust the shorts and trying to short this, actually the better bet right now at least seems to be the GameStop. So that's it. It's a very short episode. I really want to keep it focused on this MSTR story. I think we haven't really seen the end of this. There still is a lot of shorts left on MSTR. And it's sort of unclear exactly how this is all going to play out as far as Bitcoin is concerned. But it's a liquidating event, and a lot of the people who are leveraged long are now out of the market. They've been taken out. So I think that's net positive. But Bitcoin is very, very hard to predict, and knowing that there are even trades like this out there makes it even more difficult to predict. So that's it. That's for episode 57, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you very much.